Hey Ruthie, how's it like owning a dog?
Well, I haven't actually owned a dog in several years, but you know what was one of the most frustrating parts of owning a dog?
I don't know. I've never have had a dog.
So my mom's dog, he was a super picky eater. Like, we'd give him wet food and he'd only eat like a couple licks and then he'd go for whatever was it on our plates. Luckily, he's a small dog, so it wasn't like a Marmaduke situation.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely helpful. But have you heard about Nom Nom?
Well, funny, I may have, but tell me more.
Nom Nom is fresh food made with whole ingredients, and it's actually backed by veterinary science. Fresh really means fresh at Nom Nom because you can actually see with your eyeballs what your dog is shoving down its throat. For example, you can actually see the proteins in vegetables, like beef, chicken, pork, peas, carrots, kale, and more.
Jeez, that dog's gonna eat better than I do.
Yes, I mean, don't you want your dog to always eat better than you do? I'm out here eating McDonald's like on a daily basis, which is not what I want to feed my dog if I had a dog.
And the funny thing is, I actually know how Nom Nom works. You tell them about
Wait,
your
who
pup.
are you?
Tell them about your pup, the age, the breed, the weight, allergies, and even its protein preferences. And they'll tailor a specific amount of individually packaged Nom Nom meals and send them straight to you. And then you can just store the meals in the freezer or fridge until mealtime. And they give you specific instructions on how to transition your dog from foods like kibble to always fresh Nom Nom for best results. You can watch your dog clean their dishes, dance for dinner, and just overall thrive.
Isn't it time to feel good about the food you're feeding your dog? You go to www.nomnomnow, all squished together, .com/reshoot, or use code ReShoot at checkout and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. That means if your dog doesn't love fresh, delicious meals, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom.
Nom.
Nailed it, first try.
Alright, now on to the show. Ed, why do you hate fun?
He hates fun!
No fun allowed.
Welcome to Reshoot, amateurs in no suits. Too many movies to explore. Ruthie, Hector, and Ed, laughter till the end. Let's see something never done before. Hello everyone, welcome to Reshoot, an amateur's guide to gooder film, where we take movies that we like, dislike, or somewhere in between, and we make them objectively better.
Today, we're talking about Abraham Lincoln and some vampires.
Greatest vampire movie of all time.
Bad vampires because they don't die in the sun.
No, agree.
They explain why, but yeah.
What they do? When?
Yes.
Please tell me when in the movie.
It's like a special kind of sunscreen.
No, there's early on when you first really meet Henry, he's slathering the white goo on his.
He puts one little pot like slop on his cheek and the other one on his other cheek.
And it says sunscreen. And then when it cuts later, there's a scene where Abraham goes to kill his first vampire at the pharmacy, and the pharmacy has a sign on it that says sunscreen.
Okay, so they definitely did a show, but like again, when Henry puts on the sunscreen, he doesn't lather it on his face. He puts a little dollop on his right cheek and a little dollop on his left cheek, and then he's good.
Hey, person complaining, what's your name? We didn't say names.
Oh, Ed.
Okay. Who are you?
I am Ruthie.
I'm the rail splitter, Hector.
I will be allowed to be called Edward in this one because it's vampires.
I'm not calling you Edward. It's weird.
It is.
Can I call you Edwardo?
That
wow.
actually is fine.
Ruthie, are we back in 6th and 5th grade? Oh, it's not like I've literally never heard that before. Wow.
My apologies.
You know, I just started grad school. I can like psychoanalyze you now for like 2 days. No.
That was definitely an exaggeration of the... Anyways, vampires and shit. Yeah.
Who's giving the...
I was the one who picked the movie.
You ready to do a synopsis?
Yeah. I didn't write this down.
I can't. I literally, because I've seen this movie before. When I was starting to watch the movie with my friend, I'm like, as the 20th Century Fox thing is starting, I'm like, oh no, I can't do this sober. So I grabbed a beer, and it was much more tolerable.
I watched it Stone Cold and it was great.
See, you didn't watch it. You didn't drink beer. You chugged Hater-ade. You just have to accept the vibe. You just have to enjoy it. Turn your brain off. Monkey mode only, okay?
It's so hard to monkey mode. When it's a movie, I have to I like how Hector's gonna psychoanalyze me after he gets his masters. I just psychoanalyze movies. I
You
can't
can't just
do it.
turn off your brain and
I
enjoy it.
can't I can't monkey mode. I can't monkey mode movies. I even had to psychoanalyze Dungeons and Dragons, but that was a good movie.
So is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Anyway.
Incorrect.
Movie begins with Abraham Lincoln narrating and writing a letter to his friend Henry. Who the fuck is Henry? We're gonna find out. Cut back to when he was a kid. His friend, I think his name's Will. Yeah, his friend Will is getting attacked, and Will's dad. Specify, a lot of he's in this. Will's dad is being taken because he's black. They're gonna turn him into a slave, and they try and take Will. Abraham grabs his dad's axe and starts chasing after the guy, and Will gets a slash. That's important later. Dramatic flashback later. Abraham's dad stops the guy who kidnaps Will's dad. Oh no, it turns out that guy's a vampire and he's bad and he's a dick and he's part of the bourgeois and he fires Abraham's dad. That night, vampire guy Bart sneaks into Abraham's family cabin and bites Abraham's mom, who dies the next day. Very tragic. It wasn't milk. Big dairy. They've been lying to you the whole time.
What the fuck are you on about?
Because she died of milk disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of the things that happened to Abraham Lincoln are pretty historically accurate, but they
surprisingly historically accurate.
Yeah,
yes.
They change what happens to them though.
The person who did this who wrote the book really did his homework, and I gotta give it to him.
Mm-hmm. We gotta give it to him. Give some props. All right. So Abraham and his dad are really sad, and his dad's like, "Don't do any weird shit for now." And then 9 years later, he dies. So Abraham decides to pull some weird shit, and he decides to do the sensible thing of murder his dad's old boss who killed his mom because he saw the whole thing. And he meets this man in the bar who's like, "Wow, you're getting shit pissed drunk. The only time you get this drunk is when you're about to kiss a girl or kill a man." And then Abraham drops his gun, and Henry's like, "Oh, yeah, well, we know that."
I also dislike that line.
It's really cheesy. So Abraham goes out to kill Bartz. He proceeds to shoot Bartz in the face, but Bartz doesn't stay dead because he's undead. And a mysterious guy comes in at the last second before Abraham's about to die and shoves Bartz up a barn.
Like, by himself, just
one hand, just yeet, and he breaks the barn. And then we cut to Abraham waking up in a bed. He is shirtless. He is only wearing pants. He's trying to figure out what happened. His wounds have been tended to. He starts wandering around. He sees the man that saved him last night having sex with a woman in a bathtub. She leaves. Guy gets up.
Which was very awkward.
Yes, it was incredibly awkward because he thought that she was in danger, and he grabbed an axe to try and kill the man that saved him. Candlestick. That was it.
No, it was awkward for the viewers too. I didn't like it.
How do you think I feel every time there's a sex scene? That is my existence. Anyways.
Wait, what?
I don't like sex scenes. I thought we knew this.
I possibly? I forget things.
No. Never. How dare. Anyways. Mysterious, now not naked man introduces himself as Henry. Yes, the Henry from earlier. Congratulations.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Whoa!
I didn't realize.
Wait, there's like writing in a movie that has continuity and makes sense? 2013.
If it didn't happen in Marvel, it's not real. I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
That's a good one.
That's actually good.
Anyways, Henry starts to explain, like, you did a very dumb thing last night. That was stupid. Don't do that again. And Abraham's like, I'm totally gonna do that again. Teach me how to do that again. And Henry's like, no, you're not gonna have a normal life. And Abraham's like, I don't fucking care. And Henry begins to explain that Mr. Bartz is a vampire. Vampires exist. They live in the American South. They love slavery because they get free blood. Yes, it's very fucked up.
Livestock.
Yes.
That part of the
Son
movie,
was a brick wall.
That movie, like, if it wasn't for the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, they're evil and shit. Like, if it was for that, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this movie, but no, it
knew the exact route to take.
It was.
Yeah, commendable.
Yes,
I would say, for taking that risk.
Yeah.
It worked really well.
Having slave owners being blood-sucking parasites. Mwah.
Well, slavers, not slave owners.
Or they're slavers. Yeah.
Well, no,
they're both.
They're both.
Some of them were slave owners.
Yeah.
Anyways, Abraham says sweet nothings to Henry until Henry allows Abraham to learn how to become a vampire hunter. Henry asks him, so what weapon do you want to do? Do you want to do big gun or do you want to do little gun? He's like, I don't like guns. They didn't work last time, but I used to be a rail splitter.
Yeah, that was a pretty badass stuff. I used to be a rail splitter. And then they just
They cut to him in the forest with Henry, where he does kind of a training the start of a training montage where Henry asks him to cut a tree in one cut. And that's the start of
This was the part where Ruthie had to pause a few times just because I'd be laughing so hard at this movie.
Yeah.
Like, just the amount of, like, buy into this 100%.
You gotta lean in. You
gotta lean into it. Like, this is not...
Because at first Abraham's like, what? That's crazy! And then finally, like, after 4 chops, he's able to get it in one go, and there's a gif of it. It's very popular where
he channeled his hate.
Yeah.
He channeled the truth of what happened. That was the specific thing. He had to channel the truth.
Yeah, at first it was hate, but then Henry made him realize it was about the truth.
That's how you get superpowers.
Yes.
This movie is magical.
It's beautiful.
You accept the truth of your
because he's honest Abe.
Childhood.
God damn it!
Did you not realize that?
Okay.
I'm leaving.
This movie's got layers, you guys.
Okay, in the next bit of the training montage, Henry locks Abraham into a dark room, and he's like, your prey can see in the dark, and they will absolutely use that against you. So he locks him in the room and then begins to beat the shit out of him.
Because he has to learn how to protect
Exactly, he has to be able
to
tell where things are when he can't see them, especially because vampires turn invisible.
And then that really iconic, training montage little clip kind of thing. He's like on the floor, beat to a pulp, and then he says again and closes the door to be back.
He's hungry for it.
And then he can learn to swing an axe.
Then he starts twirling the axe with Henry, and he's kind of clumsy at it, and Henry's doing it perfectly. But then he speeds up, and you can see he's doing really good at this axe twirling thing. It's really cool. He's gonna join the cheer team for sure this time, guys. Okay, I think after that...
It's going to be the baton twirl.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the joke. Now we cut to Abraham comes to Springfield. He goes to a grocery store and talks with this guy, and he's like, hey, I need a place to rent. And the guy, whose name is Jonathan Speed, this becomes important.
Joshua Speed.
You're
thinking Jonathan because I made the Speedwagon joke and compared it to JoJo.
You did, yes.
No, because he is the Speedwagon of this movie.
Yes, he absolutely is. Anyhow, before my husband confuses, side tangents me further, Joshua says, like, yeah, what's your rate? And he's like, well, I can't pay. And he's like, fuck. Fine. If you work for me, you can have the room. And the two of them become friends. Despite the fact that Henry warned Abraham, don't do the friend thing, or, like, the girlfriend thing, or the wife thing. Don't have a life, just kill vampires.
No friends or family.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, I looked it up. This whole intro is actually accurate of how they met.
Yes.
Like, this movie, for the most part, is weirdly accurate.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I love it.
Hold up. Joshua Speed is a real
Yes.
He was
And he was a friend of Abraham Lincoln?
yes, he was a
And he worked
representative.
with him at the White House?
What?
He worked at the White House with him?
He was a state representative.
Kentucky state representative.
Yes.
Oh.
Anyways, it's around this point of the movie where Joshua, not Jonathan, introduces Abraham to Stephen Douglas, the guy he'd eventually beat out for the state representative position, IRL, and Mary Todd. And it's very obvious that the two of them like each other, but Abraham's kind of trying to keep it on the DL. It's at this point in time that Henry starts sending Abraham his vampire killing contracts. What?
No. I checked to see if Will was real.
Uh-huh.
He's real. He was a personal valet of Abraham Lincoln, and it was a free African American. Having first worked for Lincoln in Springfield, Illinois.
Ha!
This move, like I said, sorry,
I
keep
love
going.
the details.
Yeah, no, this movie's weirdly accurate.
Okay. So Abraham kills like 5 vampires. The first one and the second one we see. And while this is kind of happening, we see him basically going on dates with Mary Todd and falling in love with her. After the 5th one, Henry appears. Abraham bitches that he can't kill Bart's yet. And Henry's like, about that, do you want to kill him? He found out about Mary. And Abraham goes back to where he grew up. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Finds Bart's.
This is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Bart's unleashes a herd of horses and begins to make his way to Springfield, Illinois. So Abraham has to run after them, and the two of them have basically a parkour fight in the middle of a horse herd.
Like they're jumping on horses. I think at one point, if I remember correctly,
Bart grabs a horse
by the neck and just like judo flips it.
He also does a thing where he grabs the horse's legs and he spins around and then he throws it at Abraham.
This scene made me want to be a better man. It made me want to hit the gym. Like this is amazing. Like I don't think you understand. This is like some RRR level shit, and I love it. I know it's a Bollywood thing. It's just there was a bit in RRR where it was similar, and that's why I'm thinking of it. Yeah, no, it's.
Oh wait, there's
more.
When Bart throws the horse by the legs, not only does it hit Abraham Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln then gets on the horse and starts riding the horse that was thrown at him.
Yes. And you say this is a bad movie.
Horse shit.
Okay, so Abraham eventually gets a hold of Bart's and is able to kill him. They send the body with the head decapitated. Yes.
Sorry. There's this really cool thing that they did with Abraham Lincoln's axe, because at one point Bart tries to kill him with it, and then he ends up like, oh, you know the handle part? That's actually a gun.
Oh yeah,
so he shoots him from the blade area,
and he hits him in the other eye because the first eye still has the bullet in.
Yeah, so that's how he kills him, and I laughed and I cheered a little. Like it was so beautiful. It amazing.
Was beautiful. Anywho. They send Bart's body with the head separate, decapitated, because that's how you kill a vampire, of course, back to the deep south where Adam, the first vampire, is. There's a lady vampire too. I don't remember her name.
She's not important.
Yeah, she's not. She's really just like the enforcer.
Not even a good one. Like, she's just there to be hot, a hot, sexy, evil vampire lady.
She reminds me of Victoria from Twilight, which it would have been around the same era.
Don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, she's
You know who she reminds me of?
The pretty devious one.
I think I know who you're going to say. I'd say it.
Carmilla.
I knew it.
Yeah.
From Castlevania, yes.
Yeah. Except Carmilla's a better
no, Carmilla's very
the character.
Carmilla was very well written.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Anyways, yeah.
So, Carmilla lady is like, I'm really upset. Let's just go ahead and kill him. Adam's like, no. That's not dignified. Kidnap his best friend, then we kill him. So that's what they do. They
he reconnected with Will. You forgot to mention that.
I was just about to say that. He reconnects with his best friend, Will, and we know this because as soon as Anthony Mackie comes onto the screen, it jump cuts back to when Will was a kid and got the whipping mark on his cheek,
mm-hmm.
and then cuts right back.
And Anthony Mackie has a little bit of a
He
scar
does.
on
Mhm.
his cheek.
Ta-da! This movie does love a good exposition, I will say. So yeah, they kidnap Will. You'd think they'd kidnap Joshua, but no, they went straight for Will. Smart decision on their part, honestly. And
Wait, why is smart to kidnap Will over Joshua?
because they knew Will from when they were kids.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, they knew that Abraham would be very strongly attached. I thought that they would go for Mary. Okay. So Joshua Speed watches the whole thing and he goes and immediately tells Abraham. Abraham tells Speed everything about vampires, which at this point he told Mary, but it was kind of like she took it as a joke and he didn't correct her. But he tells Jonathan everything, like in detail, as they're traveling down to Deep South. They arrive at the plantation. They find it's really creepy because no one's there because they're about to be eaten. Like there's the little like slave cabins are all almost empty. We see one person. She becomes important in a second. They watch through the windows at this ball, and then finally they're like, "Oh, it's dinner time!" And all the vampires start snacking on the humans, except for Anthony Mackie, who Will survives this encounter. Abraham enters through the back doors. The fight happens. Jonathan Speed. There we go again. Joshua Speed ends the fight by driving a carriage into the plantation with horses and everything. Grabs Abraham and Will, and the three of them fuck off.
You
He
forgot to mention they drifted.
drifts
Yeah,
the
it was gorgeous.
carriage.
It was beautiful.
Deja vu.
No flaws. This movie has no access to lie, but keep going.
It's beautiful. Many of the choices, good choices.
Yeah.
Just turn off your brain and watch the movie, honestly. But as they're making their escape, a woman makes herself known, and Will's like, here, we can take the railroad. And they're like, the fucking train? It's like, not that train. And Harriet Tubman appears. And she takes them to a church, and she lets them all know that, the Underground Railroad is a thing. Let me see, what else happens? Because this isn't too far before the time
By that
skip.
point, Abe learned from the Adam that Henry is a vampire.
Henry is a vampire.
The one who threw
a man up a barn door. The man who slathered sunscreen on his skin. The man who, I forgot to mention this. He's always wearing like these kind of like blind man glasses.
Just like the other vampires do.
Yes, and he's pasty fucking white. And he happens to know all the vampire secrets. We find out that he used to be a vampire hunter, but then the vampires killed his love and they turned him into a vampire. And they're using the vampire lore where if you become a vampire, you cannot kill the vampire. Well, not that you can't kill the vampire that made you, but that you can't kill other vampires. Because the other way I've seen it, this is the one that's more common, is you can't kill the specific vampire who made you.
Yeah. What we do in the Shadows rules. Yeah.
Isn't that just like,
it's in a couple other different things.
It's in a lot of vampire lore.
I like that lore. It's
pretty
fun.
sure vampire thralls in D&D can't do that.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
But if a vampire thrall's vampire master dies, then they become a vampire. I think that's the case.
No, they're not true vampires. They just become free of their control. I'm pretty sure.
That's in D&D, I think, though. I'm not sure that's the actual
D&D.
legend.
No,
okay.
We're specifically talking D&D.
Okay.
Anyways, Abraham is salty about Henry not telling him for like 5 minutes. Then the two of them have yet another disagreement because Abraham decides to go into politics and Henry thinks that this is stupid. Abraham champions against slavery to try and free the human people from the vampire's grasp. Mary encourages this. She's a good egg. I like Mary.
It's funny because wasn't her actual family like have a lot of slaves?
Yes. She comes from a slave-owning family.
Okay.
Yeah. Time skip happens. He hasn't talked with Henry in like 25 years. He's a 50-year-old man. He has the beard. He has the beard. He's got the top hat.
He has a slow motion walk, like with the...
Later, please.
It's the same scene. But it's as he's introduced as an older man. And it's just so funny to me after all that action. It's just like...
Abraham Lincoln.
And I don't know, it just bursts out laughing.
Yeah. it explains that he got elected as president, and then the Civil War happened. And then it kind of cuts to near the end of the Civil War. Abraham's son Willie is playing one day, and they're like trying to figure out like how are they going to win the war. And the vampires decide to strike. They attack Willie like Bart's did to Abraham's mom, where they like bite him and he becomes sick and then eventually dies. IRL, he died of tuberculosis or typhoid. One of the two. Started with a T. But what is more important is that while this is happening, Jefferson Davis of Confederate presidency fame recruits the vampires to help him win the fight at Gettysburg and hopefully win the war. Mary finally finds out that Abraham is a vampire hunter, except she kind of always knew because apparently she read his diary that he keeps with him at all times. She begs Henry to turn Willie into a vampire. Abraham is against this. Mary is wrought with grief. Eventually, he and Mary are talking, and he's like in the middle of like saying that it's about as useless as fighting the army with a fork. And then he realizes silver is the one thing that can kill vampires. So he takes all the silver in DC, and he has a plan he melts it all down. It gets it all melt down and turned into bullets and other weapons. And the plan is they're going to put it all on one single train, Hail Mary, straight to Gettysburg, so that they can finally stop the vampires once and for all. The vampires hear word of this because Joshua Speed leaks it to them. Henry finds out that Joshua leaks it, and he decides to show up and warn Abraham just in time. Abraham doesn't listen. He goes on the train. Mary and Harriet.
He wants Mary out to be safe from everything.
That's what he says, but Mary and Harriet are leaving DC. They see the vampires go to DC. And as right before the shot cuts away to the train where the silver is, we see a bunch of other people emerge from the bushes, and everyone is holding a mysterious
bags of
like picnic baskets.
Yeah.
This becomes important later. The train thing happens. The vampires attack the train. Henry is on the train. Abraham's on the train. Will's on the train. Josh is on the train. Everybody's on the train. Abraham and Will kill a shit ton of vampires. Will slows down the train at one point. No, he puts the wooden brick in, and then he's walking up and down. And he kills I think he kills a couple vampires too. Adam shows up. He fights with Abraham and Will. And eventually he like punches a box that's supposed to contain silver, and it's empty. Joshua, I'm getting there. I'm almost done. Joshua laughs and Adam's like, you said that there would be silver. And Adam's like, we needed you all in one place. And Adam and the other lady vampire, it's a train heist. They do what any train heist would do. They destroy the bridge that's upcoming.
They also light it on fire.
They also light it on fire just in cases, as you do, honestly. It's a typical train heist procedure. You blow it up, you set it on fire. It doesn't matter which step is which. Both need to happen for the drama. Adam is then killed by Henry somehow.
Wait, say that again?
Adam is then killed by Henry.
No, he's not.
Oh, no. Henry attacks... he attacks Adam, and both of us paused and we're like, wait, what?
No, because as long as it wasn't a killing blow. They said specifically killing.
Oh, really?
So like you can hit...
I still think that's bullshit.
I don't think so. You can hit another one. You just can't go for that killing level. They're trained fighters.
I don't know. I still think it's bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right, because then later Abraham and Will are standing in the burning wreckage, like, as everything's on fire, as everything is exploding. They're on the rail, like, underneath the train rails as they're collapsing, and Adam shows up and he's walking across, except the place that he was supposed to be walking across had already collapsed. Continuity, who is she? The two of them fight, and eventually Abraham does.
Well, he asks, "Where's the silver?"
Yeah.
And then Abraham, who has had his silver pocket watch the entire movie, wraps it around the chain
Oh
around
yeah,
his fist,
he bare knuckle.
and he's like, "Right here," and punches a hole right through Adam. Like
It was gorgeous.
Oh man, it was so.
Lovely audience, I would like a moment to just apologize. We've been very loud because this movie's so much fun.
It is so much fun.
We're
I hated it.
here.
Love that scene. I'm like, "Where's your silver?" Right here. Boom. Like, yeah, Abe. Fucking kill those vampires
Fucking
and
A,
emancipate
Abe.
everyone.
Fucking A.
Fucking A, man. Like, it's so.
We
good.
then cut back to Gettysburg, and it's in the middle of the battle. For some reason, there's like a fork that like it shoots out of a gun, but it's implied that it was like fully melted down. Whatever details. It shoots a vampire and it kills it. Mary is there and she's helping, tending to the wounded, doing whatever until she sees the vampire lady who looks like Camilla / Victoria. She grabs a gun and
she puts her son's toy sword.
Yeah, there's a earlier when Willie died, he dropped this like silver toy sword for his little toy soldiers, and she's had that sword on a necklace the entire time since Willie's dead. So she sees the vampire lady, stuffs the sword in there, shoots it, and it pierces vampire lady, and she dies instantly.
If she put a silver necklace and that little toy sword inside of a musket and pulled the trigger, that stuff would shatter.
Well, the implication was there was other stuff too. She just added the last bit.
Yeah.
The gun was already loaded. She was just doing that last bit just
for symbolism.
Yeah.
Silver is a soft metal. It wouldn't work.
You're just chugging the Hater-ade,
I'm gonna emancipate my fists all over your fucking face, Ed.
I am drinking so much Hater-ade, and
what
you guys
flavor is your
are
Hater-ade?
snorting so much copium.
If you say it's red for blood.
True. Anyways, the main combat is over. Abraham gives the Gettysburg Address. You can't have an Abraham movie without the Gettysburg Address.
The funny thing is, the Lincoln movie came out like 6 months later after this. Mm-hmm. We had 2 Abraham Lincoln movies.
And I remember when I was a kid, you'd see the Abraham Lincoln, you'd see like the Lincoln trailer, and then you'd see the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter trailer immediately after, and it was wild.
They were.
It was amazing. But anyways, I'm almost done with this, guys. Movie ends with Abraham finishing up his diary. He looks for his hat, and then he's like, "Oh, bye, Henry. Read that after I leave. I'm going to the play tonight." And Henry's like, Abe, before you go, Abe, do you want me to make you a vampire and just, like, be immortal with me? We can, like, devise ways to kill other vampires. And Abe's like, "Nah, dude, I'm gonna go see the play." And he leaves. And then the best part, yeah. So he leaves, and then it transitions to where an airplane is landing. It like fast forwards. Yeah, thank you, helicopter. Word. It fast forwards to the helicopter landing, and like it's modern day now. And then it cuts to a random guy in a bar who's drinking himself silly. And then Henry, his voice is there, and it's saying, "You know, a man only gets this drunk when he's trying to kiss a woman or kill a man." And then he, like, bumps into the guy like he did Abe, and the gun falls to the floor. And movie ends.
You know, my friend Levi came up with the funniest thing. Is if it didn't end when the gun dropped, it would end as the camera pans around the person, and it's George W. Bush.
See, my fix that Hector vetoed that I just said for like shits and giggles.
Oh no, please!
Was that it wasn't Henry, it was Joe Biden. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
No, that part's fine. You added so much. You just kind of like
what?
You added more to. Never mind.
Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Ironically, this movie's so bad.
You know what sucks? If I can say one of my fixes, I can say it now.
Okay, yeah.
Can I go? Actually,
if you want to, yeah.
It's your pick. You're the episode Caesar, so
Cesar.
Yeah, Hector, you wanna go?
Yeah.
Cancel out this Hater-ade.
Yo, for sure. God, this movie's
No,
hilarious
drinking more Hater-ade right now.
and fucking badass. Like,
Gulp,
the
gulp.
horse fight with his mother's killer with Bards?
Bart's.
Bart's was like the best. Like, oh, the movie was good. Like,
It was peak during the Bart's fight.
Yes, that Bart's fight. Like, here's the thing: a lot of time movies in this era were just jump cutting all the fucking time because they couldn't actually connect because no one had some choreographers are expensive and they want to do all that. But like, they did a pretty good job. I could follow the actual action. Also, it's so fucking ridiculous. It's so great. Like that horse fight just made me want to be the better man.
It's your Paddington too.
It is. Still need to see those, but no, it's still Velocipaster in my heart. Abraham Lincoln's acting was so good, actually unironically good. Like he had to carry like being president or like being a serious dude, but also like getting into
a little
this
ridiculous sometimes.
and like he sold it. Also, if anyone here seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Liam McPoyle is in this as Joshua Speed. So when he's trying to get Abe to ask out Mary, I just keep picturing him going, "You will call her!" The final punch was just badass, and like some of the kills were great. Like when the first time he has to kill a vampire on his own in Springfield, he uses the bellows from like a forge, or the second vampire he kills.
Yeah, that was the blacksmith
yes,
one.
the
blacksmith.
One was that one was so fun. I'm just like, holy shit, that's incredible. My dislikes. The women were extremely underwritten. They give Mary more to do at the end. It's not much, and it kind of makes a woman vampire who is supposed to be the second best look stupid because she's just running stupidly at Mary, who is holding a gun, who she now knows is full of silver, and that was just kind of stupid. A dislike is the parts between Lincoln being as soon as Lincoln is president and up until the train fight, it's a little too slow. Like, I get you want to give the characters pathos, and I get you want to make them more rounded, but at the same time, like, there's just something about it that you can cut.
Yeah, it kind of had a genre tone switch because it was like a vampire monster hunting fun movie, and then it was like a Civil War reenactment movie.
Yeah,
like Lincoln.
Yeah, like if he had just cut a few scenes in the White House, like after the sun dies, just cut 1 or 2 bits, or just cut like 3 minutes off it. It would have flowed a lot better. Also, like for a second, I thought I was watching Lincoln for a second. I genuinely forgot.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't keep the fucking book ending, and it bothers me. So I know the book ending. So the book ending is he is immortal. He does take the immortality. And then, like, he's hiding out in the modern America. I think he's sleeping on the top of the Lincoln Memorial. Or something like that. Or maybe the Washington Monument. I can't remember which one it is. And him and Henry are just gonna go out and explore, or they're gonna go and they just like seeing how the country's growing. That's it. Also, my last dislike. There's no hat during the final fight. We never got the top hat during the fight. And it bothers me. So my fix is keep the books ending. I want him to be immortal. Maybe Abe's the one who's like, well, the only time you're drinking is... It will have had a more interesting thing.
The last time I got that drunk, I couldn't tell if I was going to kiss a woman or kill a man.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. That was actually really good.
Drops gun. Well...
Yeah. So what they need to do is in the final fight, when they're fighting the first fodder vampires, Abe has the hat on. And then as soon as he's about to fight Adam just knocks him hard and the hat goes flying. And then the rest of the fight.
Okay.
My other fix, this isn't long. Mary should have snuck on to save Will. Because, they were friends by that point. The movie said they were becoming friends. So it gives her more agency, and maybe she is, like, a good shot with a gun. Like her family did hunting and stuff, and she joined, even though it was unladylike. And then she doesn't kill the vampires, because she just doesn't understand why they're not dying, because, it's not silver. But she does a good job paralyzing them. Because the movie showed a blunderbuss.
Mm-hmm. And then we never got the blunderbuss.
I'm like, I want the fucking blunderbuss. So maybe at the end, like, she stole something from Henry. She stole, like, or
Or Henry gives her the blunderbuss,
Blunderbuss?
like, you're gonna need this.
Yeah, and then at the end it's just her and like it's like a little like it would ruin the movie. I don't care. If anyone's seen The Matrix, you know the scene where he fights in the airport in the security and he has all those guns, there's all those agents and like the sprinklers are raining down and it's just like just that with her. And this is a one woman fight for like a little bit. It'd be ridiculous, but at that point the movie jumped the tracks a long time ago. Also, maybe like after the first bit, she just kind of temporarily gets shell shocked and forgets it afterwards through trauma, and then as soon as her son's dead, it all just comes crashing back. I don't know. That's all I have. This movie's so I couldn't find much that I had issues with. This movie's just I didn't know I needed this in my life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruthie.
I knew you were gonna like this movie. This movie's fun, and Ed just hates fun.
Ed hates fun. If Ed hates a movie, 75% of the time I'm gonna love it.
All right, Ed, make your case. Make us drink your Hater-ade.
Haterade. Movie's terrible. The only thing that made it fun was that I was buzzed. Honestly, I don't know. It's okay. Like the Haterade is there, but like there's okay. So like this isn't the only railroad. The only time someone gets this drunk is when he wants to kiss a girl or kill a man. Like some of these lines are just fucking. Please put a little bit more effort into it. It's not like there was writer's strikes in 2013. What?
What? How would you change those lines? Just, I'm curious.
Make it less fucking cheesy. I don't know, bro.
Come up with a line right now.
Do it.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think that hard. I don't know. Okay, so like this isn't the only railroad. Like you can say that without just saying, without making a pun of it. You can just be like, I don't know, gotcha, bro. It ain't here. That's all you gotta be. You all gotta say. It's like
Abe Lincoln saying,
it wasn't
gotcha,
on
bro.
this train. It ain't on this train. Gotcha.
You hopped on the wrong passenger caboose, partner, and then punched a hole through.
I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it definitely took itself less seriously. Because it was taking itself a little bit too seriously for my liking.
Especially in the second act, I will say.
No,
it was definitely way too like it just. I'm fine with the historical accuracy because that was actually pretty interesting and cool to watch how they mess with that. But just like man, just when it's historically accurate stuff, yeah, keep it that way. But the vampire hunting stuff, just make it silly as hell, bro. Like I don't know, it was super silly when Henry just threw what's his face through a building, just yeet. That was funny, at least in the beginning. I thought it was gonna stay that freaking weird the entire time, but no, it took itself too seriously. Lighten up, bitch.
I just realized we had an axe, and there was no scene where he throws the axe and then slow-mos it as it goes like right through the middle of a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
It was a little early for that kind of stuff. That kind of happened a little more closer to 20.
Yeah, this was definitely also this was a product of its time with the the slow-mo era of things. There's that one scene when they're fighting where they're fighting on top of the train and they're like passing the axe back and forth. And there's
Zack Snyder who?
Yeah, there's this one scene where it's slow-mo and Abraham like hits a vampire across with the axe in slow-mo and it goes across and then it goes super duper fast forward into another slow-mo scene because he has to turn around and rear back the axe over his head. It's just like he does the axe in the middle, slow-mo, super fast, and he's slow-moing hitting the vampire again. And it was really weird because there's no other like super fast forward scenes in the entire fighting sequence. Really, it goes from slow-mo to normal speed usually.
Can I say something stupid?
No, wait.
Okay.
Brain
It's
cells only.
also this movie was filmed in 3D because this movie came out 3 years after Avatar, and it definitely suffers for it. Trying to emulate the 3D craze that was 2009 post.
It's also on the backs of the Twilight era.
Oh,
Which
was Twilight in 3D?
no, Twilight was not
No,
in 3D, but like the
Ah,
vampire craze of that time.
oh yeah. Also, like, what was it Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? There was like Tom Sawyer. There was also Tom
I
Sawyer in Zombies.
forgot.
But that one wasn't a movie.
No,
I don't
neither
know if
neither of
Pride,
those two are movies, but it was the same
Prejudice,
genre because it was a
and
book. Remember?
Zombies. I forgot that existed.
Yeah. Also, Tom Sawyer in Zombies. There was another one. I think it was like Huckleberry Finn and like Ghosts or something. I could be wrong.
Oh God,
But like I remember
it's
going to the
so
Barnes and
bad.
Nobles and there were so many of those
Mm-hmm.
books.
Yeah. Also, apparently, I don't know how true this is, so take this with a grain of salt, but there were back in the day, they like we're not gonna get a movie like this ever again. Or like
Sadly.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. And apparently the reason for that is because of the streaming service era. Because
Oof.
these movies would come out and they'd bomb the box office, but they would like say, "Oh, we'll get our money back through DVD sales and such." But that's not a thing anymore because of streaming services now. So they can't rely on their post theater run, and that's why most of the movies nowadays are so formulaic and take themselves so seriously. That's why like the D&D movie was so refreshing because it didn't take itself too seriously at all. And we miss those kind of things. It just suffered. I mean, this movie just suffers because it took itself a bit too seriously. I feel like the filmmakers for sure weren't taking it too seriously, but it didn't translate into the finished product. I think if you're not going to take yourself too seriously when you're making a film, you got to play into it a little bit more than what these people did for sure.
I think
It
I
doesn't have to
agree
be.
with
It doesn't have to be crazy because D&D wasn't like crazy playing into it, but it definitely was not taken as seriously as they could have done it.
D&D had heart though. That's the thing that separates this like the level of cheesiness from here and here cuz both of them go at the cheesiness with different routes, right? Cuz like D&D is all like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's all silly, but at the same time like these characters are pretty three-dimensional and have all layers and they break stereotypes of the
That's
respective
true. Yeah.
classes." But this one for the most part has to be like yeah, we're goofy about it. Like he fucking like the horse spit, right? Where he
Yeah.
throws the
I
horse, and
think
yeah,
they relied way too much on just the goofiness of the concept that they didn't do the goofiness in execution
Mm-hmm.
was the biggest thing I think. But yeah, like honestly, the movie itself, I hated it, but it really didn't need much fixing other than just be more silly. That's the only way I could actually think this movie would be better.
can you give one example of silliness? I'm
Of
curious.
silliness,
Yeah,
uh,
like what one thing you'd add? Come on, I never see you get to be
Like,
silly.
yeah,
I don't know.
give us a vibe.
Give you a vibe like again. I think I
Like, what are
mentioned
you
it.
looking for? Like, Abraham walks into a bar and he says, "Ow."
Ow! Oh
What?
no, no, not that kind of stuff. Just like the historical accurate stuff can stay more or less the same, but when the vampire stuff happens, crank it to fucking 15, bro. Just like balls to the wall bullshit that doesn't make any fucking sense. Use the slow mo shit, like do some Matrix moves. I don't know. Just when the vampire stuff happens, just let loose. I mean the carriage drifting was super funny and that was good. Do more of that bullshit. And like and I think if it was more bullshit like that, I think the stupid ass lines would work better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Just like when the vampire stuff is happening, just like let loose. Just do whatever the fuck you want.
Like, give us an example. I want to hear what bullshit you have in mind, please. Give us a crumb.
Like when he There was a specific vampire.
Was it the pharmacist fight?
Yeah, it was the pharmacist fight. Like when he falls through the little trap door and gets hung. Like that
Mhm.
there was some silly shit that he like did that was cool there, but like at least in the fighting or like in the plan to escape, just exaggerate everything. Just all the moves, all the everything he did. Because when he cut himself off, it was pretty fast and just like made sense. Just exaggerate that shit. Make it like he dislocates his shoulders and goes all the way around to get the knife in his boot or something, bruh. I don't know.
Does he use Hamon to reheal the thing right afterwards?
I don't know, man. Just like
I
do
don't
the
know.
stupidest shit ever when the vampire stuff is happening. And like yeah, when Anthony Mackie and him were on top of the train tossing the axe back and forth and fighting vampires, that was silly and that was cool.
It gave me like I felt the same feelings there I did as when like Captain America was able to wield Thor's hammer. I don't know why.
It had
It
similar energy to
it
that. It also
reminded me
reminded me
of
of
Civil
episode
War.
9 when Rey and
Oh,
Kylo were trading
you mean that
lightsabers.
stupid ass bullshit of a movie? Worst movie ever
Yes.
made?
I did think that scene was
I
cool
do
Okay,
though.
think
it's not the worst movie ever made. Blow Up still exists.
and Sharks of the Corn also.
No, Sharks of the Corn had way more tolerable shit than Blow Up.
For
Not
you.
than Force. Rise of Skywalker. I can watch more than Sharks of the Corn. Sharks of the Corn was like one of the worst.
Blow Up is just stupid. One of these days I'm going to make both of you watch it. The problem is it
Hey,
just makes me
my
angry.
pick next time, blow up. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. No,
Swear on me, mum. I'll do it, mate.
swear
It's
on me,
like, I'm
mom.
tired of you talking about Cure for Wellness. Fuck you. Blow
Blow
Up.
up, yeah. Cure for Wellness is a good movie. Shut up.
I feel like this is gonna be Ed's version of when Ruthie did
Last Lovecraft.
the last Lovecraft. She's like, I'm gonna fuck with these two who like Lovecraft, and then
Yeah.
then everyone but
You
Ruthie
say
liked
that
it.
like I don't like Lovecraft. That was my problem. I love Lovecraft.
No, but you
Movie
also
or Lovecraft?
No, I'm talking about the movie
Not the
specifically.
movie. I'm talking about like the actual,
Lovecraftian
like the
shit.
the mythos. I don't love the racism. Racism is bad.
Yeah, there's
Bad.
that sheep.
Lovecraft.
That sheep thing is so clearly racist. I can't say the name.
Oh yeah, Shub Gigaroth.
Are we calling it Gigaroth now?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
within the episode. All right.
Anyways.
Anyways, yeah, just make it more silly. Honestly, that's all
Yeah.
it needs.
Yeah.
But another example of just making it more silly. Bounce the axe when they're passing it back and forth at least 2 times. Just like bounce it. Just throw it on the
Like
bounces.
Oh, just bounce it
Off the
like
ground?
like a ping pong
throw
ball.
it in between a vampire's legs, and it bounces up to Abraham Lincoln. He catches it and he kills the vampire. That
Like a
that
ping pong
bounces.
ball.
Yeah.
oh! Can I improve it?
No,
Ed?
you
Okay.
can't improve
Wait,
it.
were you gonna do
Wait,
the
what are you
game where
gonna
you have
do?
to like bounce it a certain number of times?
Like
Like
I'm
a
saying,
1 and then 2.
I'm saying it's physically impossible to improve it, but what would you do? Yes.
Okay, no. So it's between two of them, right?
Yeah.
The vampire's between both Sam and Abe, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's two coming. There's like one coming at Sam from behind,
Even Will.
or not coming at Sam from the side. He still bounces it under the other vampire.
Oh yeah, you keep saying
the one-
Sam and not Will.
Sorry, Will. Sorry. So Will, there's one on the left. There's a one on the right between, and then to the right is the vampire and Abe. He bounces it off the ground. Abe grabs it, chucks it, throws it from the side, spins, decapitates that
The vampire between the two of them. And then
Abe
Will catches
it, and then just with the same momentum spins and just extra hard
I
chops
love
the other
this
one.
so much. Also,
that would be amazing.
I guys, I'm really sorry. I think I bridged. I don't even know why I'm saying I'm sorry. I think I may have bridged the gap between both of your fixes. I'm hoping that is the case.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Go.
it.
Okay.
Go, Ruthie.
What did I like about this movie? Yes. End of episode. I really liked the historical accuracy. The more you dig into it, I'm a little salty about the milk thing. Long story. I won't get into it. It is a rabbit hole. I'd need a whole podcast episode to explain it. But
Milk.
Mulk. Uh,
If everyone look up Julian Smith Milk if you don't know what we're talking about.
No,
yeah,
no,
if you're
no,
like
no,
younger
not,
than
not,
me,
not that. Milk.
Malk.
Malk.
Yeah.
The video is called Milk.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. It's been a
Anyways,
while.
what else did I like? It's just a fun concept. It's just a turn your brain off and have a great time movie. It's a really, honestly, if you haven't seen the movie and if you enjoyed my description of it, what you should do is get all of your friends together and do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 viewing of it and just shit talk the movie. That's one of the greatest ways to enjoy a movie. This is a great movie for it. I liked the vampire stuff. I especially liked the detail that they kept in about a vampire cannot kill another vampire. Like I said, I'm more used to the vampire can't kill its own maker, but whatever. To each their own.
I never understood why silver was used to kill vampires until this movie.
Yeah, it's also, they use the same 2 pieces of lore in the 3rd Librarian movie, which Hector has not seen any of them, and I need to make him watch them. Yeah, you're missing out, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about still.
You will.
Okay.
This is a threat.
Okay.
I can wax poetic about the movie, but I'm just gonna move on to my dislikes. As much as I do enjoy the vampire stuff, I kind of wish they had pulled more vampire lore. It kind of seems like they buffed them up by taking away that sunlight thing. I also thought that they were gonna tease Abe about his hat more. I remember that being more of a thing when I'd seen it when I was younger. But they make 2 comments about his hat looking dorky, and then it's fine. And what else? Oh, there was a throwaway thing that I thought was going to come into play later. Will keeps giving Henry really weird looks when he meets Henry for the first time, and I had thought, does Will know about vampires? Is he aware of what's going on? Does he not trust Henry because he's a vampire? But no, he just doesn't like Henry. He just fundamentally disagrees with him, and that's fine. You can do that, but we only ever see one vampire hunter.
And they mentioned Henry had more disciples in the past, so I thought that'd come into play.
So now we go into my fixes. I'm adding more vampire hunters.
Oh, yes, please. Different ways of fighting too? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, one more having seen RRR, this movie reminds me a lot of RRR. My first fix is I want to make it more like RRR.
Action-wise, or weirdly
low-key, I would love it if they turned this into a bit more of a musical like RRR. I'm not going to actually seriously suggest it. I'm just saying, that just in your mind's eye, come on, tell me that wouldn't be fun.
It would make the movie objectively worse.
Or 10 times better.
I like how Ruthie was expecting him to say, in her face, she was like, oh, better, right? It's worse.
So hard, dude. That was the best bait I've ever done.
You're a dick. Anyway.
This is known.
Because you were just saying, if it took itself just a little less seriously, and what way to take it a little less seriously than musical numbers?
You gotta keep in mind, Ed's favorite movie is La La Land, which is
fair.
full of music numbers. So
but how often do you see... What?
My favorite movie is not La La Land. It's one of my... it's in my top
20.
5.
It's on its top 5. Whatever. Okay. Semantics.
It's not semantics.
It's semantics at this rate. Ruthie, please continue.
Yes. So anyways, yeah. Make it a little bit more like RRR. Not necessarily musical numbers, but if you want to, that's fine too. I agree. What I mean is doing more of these kind of dramatic physics-defying bullshit and kind of just leaning into the CGI and dipping horribly into your budget for the hell of it. I want more of that.
Lamau.
Like Kung Fu... Was it Kung Fu Hustle?
I don't know. I haven't seen Kung Fu Hustle.
Okay.
I know RRR.
You've
seen RRR, so you know what I'm talking about.
You know what would make this movie better if they just Kung Pao'd it? Have you guys never seen Kung Pao?
Isn't it Kung Fu Hustle?
No, it's Kung...
He's talking about a different
I'm talking about a different movie, yeah. I'm talking about Kung Pao.
I haven't seen that.
Is it my turn to pick next?
I think it might be.
Is it Compound?
I thought you were gonna do Blow Up. I thought you were gonna spite me.
I might do Kung Pao instead.
But can we fix it?
No. We can't.
Oh, this is 4 stars with some dude I follow on Letterboxd. This is higher ratings than
Kung Pao?
Kung Pao, I think, is higher ratings
Look
than
at
Vampire.
the ratings for Blow Up.
Give me a second. Vampire. It's higher rating than Vampire Hunter, dude.
Why? That movie is perfection.
No, not Blowout.
No, Blow Up.
Oh, Blow Up?
Blow Up. That's the name of the movie.
That one's actually the highest rating of them all.
It's got an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Kung Pao has 13. Yeah, Blow Up has Kung Pao has a 13%.
Damn. Anyways, since I was alluding to it, Will is also a vampire hunter. He learned after his father, he and his father were taken by Bart's. Somehow there was another person who was a vampire hunter, so he was able to get away from the vampire slave holders. And the railroad also has some vampire hunters, not a lot, not enough to actually like wipe.
That makes a stupid amount of sense that the railroad would have.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Make Harriet Tubman a vampire hunter. Come on. She was known for being very ruthless, even to the people that she saved. Because she didn't let people go back. It was either you can come with me, or I'll dig you a nice hole.
Wasn't it? Or I'll drag you there.
Excuse me?
It wasn't a nice hole. It was she'll knock you out, and she knocked a few people out.
It was implied from what I've heard that she would threaten to kill you if you tried to go back.
She never killed them though. She just knocked them out and kidnapped them.
But she would threaten you either way.
Yeah,
no, she threatened you. No, she threatened
if you went with her, you were going with her the easy way or the hard way.
There we go.
Both of them were her way.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe she was Will's vampire trainer, and the two of them don't trust Henry because they know he's a vampire. He's got all the telltale signs. Abraham wouldn't notice because he's a ding-dong, apparently. There's also one more vampire hunter I would like to introduce. And before you worry, Ruthie, are you throwing in some random character who didn't exist? No, during the second act...
Her face is scaring me.
I'm so excited. This is my
I thought we were just going to throw Buffy in there.
Old Buffy in there? Nah.
Give me 1 second. I need to...
Didn't Buffy kill more than vampires, though?
It was a Monster of the Week show.
Monster of the Week show. But it was
no,
Buffy,
that's the genre.
I know, but it was Buffy the Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
Vampire Slayer.
Vampire Slayer. Shut up, Hector.
Yeah,
Gosh.
That's the thing about this movie. The one problem... Okay, back to my dislikes. I keep saying interchangeably Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. And it frustrates me. And it is technically Vampire Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt.
Okay, so... Henry and Abraham have not been speaking for some time. Vampires are introduced in the Civil War. It is at this point where Henry returns and he goes, Abraham, you don't have the strength to do what it takes to get rid of the vampires, but I know someone who does. Allow me to introduce you to my other disciple, William Sherman.
Why does that name
Ruthie.
sound familiar?
Are you familiar with
William Sherman? I am not familiar.
God damn it! I hate being a history nerd with you two dorks.
Well, you're a history nerd.
Very...
Our viewers might also not be history nerds, so please tell us.
Burning Sherman was a Civil War general on the side of the North, and he is most famous for his ride to Georgia, where he burned everything in his wake. He was known as this very cruel man, but he was one of the first like major victories that the North had in the Civil War. You know that song All the Way Down to Dixie that was referring to that was like the North's anthem? Like a lot of it kind of referenced Sherman in this very playful tongue-in-cheek way. Or like what he did.
So Sherman was ruthless?
Yes, he was a bastard.
Oh.
But you know. to like slave owners and shit, But yeah, Henry introduces William Sherman to Abraham, and Abraham's like, "What are your qualifications?" He's like, "Oh, well, I did go to, I think, West Point. He is like qualified to be a general." Right there. He's plugging in my laptop for me. Yeah. Abraham hires on Byrne and Sherman to wage war against the vampires, and yeah, that's when they decide, fuck that, and that's why they decide to attack Willie. That's why Gettysburg.
What is Berg Sherman's
Burning
weapon?
Sherman.
What's his weapon of choice?
Oh, it's a gun. It's a gun.
Like any special kind of gun? Like a double revolver? Like
a blunderbuss like you wanted?
Okay. What about Harriet Tubman?
Her, I think she had a hunting rifle.
Okay.
Historically, she had a hunting rifle she kept with her.
Okay, that makes sense.
And, the other thing I would include, make vampires more weak to sunlight. The sunscreen only works, like, an hour a day max. And you can't, like, reapply it and kind of hope it works. It's like real life medicine. You can only take so much a day kind of deal. So give them actual weaknesses. I would also add more vampire lore. I don't know if I'd do the counting thing, because that make
I
them
never
super weak.
I never liked the counting thing.
It's also more of like a East Asian Chinese like mythology for vampires. I would like to have at least one vampire fight where Abraham goes to Henry, like all the instructions, he's following it. He's out in a pumpkin patch. And he's very confused, and then a vampire unbecomes a pumpkin. Abraham has to kill it. For anyone else who doesn't understand, in Eastern European lore, vampires could turn into pumpkins to hide from people. You could tell a vampire was a pumpkin because there'd be red spots all over it.
Red spots?
Yeah.
Does that actually happen to pumpkins?
Yes. People would go out into the pumpkin patch after somebody died or a livestock died, and they'd beat the shit out of any pumpkins that they saw that had red on them. Because it had to be the vampire.
Vampiro.
Yeah. Vampire piñata.
I misheard that's vampire empanada, and I got a little hungry for some reason.
Vampire empanada. Wow.
I want to make that for Halloween.
That sounds delish.
It does sound good.
Yeah.
Vampire
like just a bunch
empanada.
of salsa on the inside, because like
no, just
blood.
A pumpkin empanada. Vampire
and then you dye it red. Yeah, you have to dye it red for the blood.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I would make it more ridiculous. I would add more fights.
Yes.
I'd add more historical characters.
And Burning Sherman.
Burning Sherman. God damn it. Burning Sherman. William Sherman.
Burning Sherman.
Burning Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
He's on fire. I don't know. I can't do the laugh.
R.I.P. Pee Wee Herman.
Was it Reuben something?
Yeah. Peter Reuben?
Yeah, we watched that the day after the day he died.
Mm-hmm.
First time I saw Pee Wee Herman. It was fun.
Teacher.
Oh, Ulysses S. Grant. You could also make him like a vampire, like a retired vampire hunter for shits and giggles too.
Was Ulysses S. Grant?
Wasn't he the? Wait,
he wasn't Confederate. He was Union.
He was the Union.
He was the Union general.
Head general who won against Robert E. Lee.
Yeah,
and then eventually became
Robert
president.
E. Lee.
Yes.
You're thinking
Robert E. Lee as a vampire.
I thought about that. I thought people are really weird about Robert E. Lee nowadays. For some reason, they conflate him as a hero. He is that exactly. He is a traitor. I do not want him in this movie because I do not want people to think in any way, shape, or form that the vampires are good. They're like slave owners and slavers. They are blood-sucking parasites. Racism is bad. Yeah. No Robert E. Lee on screen. I like Jefferson Davis.
Okay. Teacher.
The way they used him.
I liked the way that they used him.
How you want to specify
in the movie, I liked the way that Jefferson Davis was portrayed.
Yeah.
Teacher,
give a grade. Want to bet you the movie didn't do well in some parts of the South. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. For another piece of, like, just how much Burning Sherman was hated, Sherman used to be a popular name in the South. After 1865, the name dropped off. No one would name their kid Sherman in the South.
Hilarious.
Yes.
Teacher, grades, please.
A. It's a great movie.
B-. That lull really took me out of it for some reason. Like, it was building up to such great momentum, and it couldn't quite. It took me a bit, even the final fight, to get back into it again after all that slowdown.
D.
Like Vampire Hunter D?
I was about to say.
D.
Or was it Vampire
For initial D.
Drift in that carriage?
Deja vu. Yeah, it's a D. It's pretty bad.
It's not bad. Like I said, it's a fun movie. Just turn your brain
We will
off
agree
and
to
have at it.
disagree. It's a bad movie, but it could have been better if it was sillier. If it was sillier, I'd probably give it like a C plus or something.
What grade would you give My Fix?
Probably a C plus.
I'll take
It can't get better than that. It's still just a dumb movie. So, what have you guys? Well, yeah, that's Vampire Hunter. We objectively all made it definitely better because it's not that hard.
He's salty.
What have you all been playing this week? Because I've been no-lifing Baldur's Gate 3
And spoiling us about Baldur's Gate 3.
and spoiling you about how thirsty that game is. How
Also, you played a
horny
little
that game
of
is.
Armored Core 6.
I played one mission of Armored Core 6. I thought the first boss was the noob filter. Apparently it's not. People have gotten further in the game and there's a different noob filter. It took me like 8 tries to kill that thing. I played Armored Core 3 and 4. My friend who's never played an Armored Core game before took him 2 tries. Wow.
Oof.
I was trying to play too much like Armored Core 4 though. I was like flying around doing stupid shit where you have to play more like Armored Core 3 and like actually use cover. You can't dodge everything. Spoilers.
That's fine. And that's not spoilers. So that's you.
Mhm.
Ruthie, you want to say your one?
I have been playing Final Fantasy 16. My husband has requested this of me so I can prevent him from not studying.
Well, she was already playing it.
I am playing it. He's also just requested, can you hog the Switch hog the PS5 for me? So I'm just doing him a good turn, honestly. I've also been playing Deep Rock Galactic.
I've also been playing. Well, until recently, I was playing Deep Rock.
Friend of the stream, Matt Shore Store on Twitch, Made Up Movies host Matt. He has Deep Rock on Xbox, and he gave us both temporary trial passes for Xbox Game Pass so that we could play with him. You might be able to find like VODs of those streams. I won't have it for very much longer. I want to get it on Steam. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great game.
It's a lot of fun. Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone. How to with John Wilson is the fun, like one of the most interesting shows I've seen. Like, I like documentary stuff, but like this one is interesting.
It hits different.
It hits very different. It kind of hits like it's like a different, alternate, yet sometimes softer Nathan For You style show, or The Rehearsal. It's good. I really recommend that show. It's in its final season. I think by the time this episode releases, it'll be done because the episodes. But yeah. Also, I caught up to The Bear, and like, holy shit, I've been trying to get Ed to watch this show for a long time, and this has been like, and anyone really, it's so good. That's it.
Yeah.
Ed, it's your turn. What do you want to watch?
What do I want to watch?
Mm-hmm.
The Creator.
What do you want to fix? I can't go to the theaters anymore.
Oh, fix, not watch. I thought you meant like just asking me what I want to watch
for the podcast.
Hey, Ruthie.
Yeah?
What movie am I going to pick?
Ed, are you sure?
Are you sure you want to do this to yourself, bud?
Wait, how long's the movie?
Let me check. Okay, first of all, it's not rated. Love that. It's an hour and 51 minutes.
I can handle that.
2 hours. Let's let's just take a quick gander. Maybe
Do
I'll
you
pick
want me to tell
something
you the
else.
premise of the movie?
No,
No,
I don't want that.
Okay. It's not triggering for me in like the other sense. It just enrages me. I've become untethered and my rage knows no bounds kind of trigger.
Let's look at Rotten Tomatoes bottom 100.
Oh, you don't want to do blow up?
I'm just taking a quick gander. Okay, don't judge me. If my internet will work. Oh my god, come on. Get in there.
"100 worst movies of all time."
No, please. I don't.
That's what Ed wants to look at.
Also, I want to thank Ruthie and Ed. You guys have been doing like editing for me since I started school, and I really appreciate it. I want to throw it out into the world. Thank you guys.
That's horrifying. Look at this movie poster.
Mm-hmm. Are
Oh,
you looking
that's
at One Missed Call?
yeah, that's
Yes.
fucked.
After much deliberation, it is not going to be Blow Up yet.
Coward.
It is going to be The Flash. Because I can't accept that people actually think that movie is good. Also, Blue Beetle is actually kind of good. Latino culture was very well captured in that movie.
I was gonna see it, and then I got exposed to COVID, so I had to miss my one chance to see it.
Mhm.
It fucking sucks.
Blue Beetle's really good. Anyways,
I
we're gonna watch
know.
The Flash instead. I can't accept that one's good, though. I can't. No way. We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna see if it's actually good.
It's not.
I don't think it's. Wait. Huh?
Every still I've seen, it just
Every
gets
still.
worse.
Stills, not movie. Still, however, The Flash. So, join us next time where we review.
Wait.
Okay.
What are socials?
Oh yeah, Ed, you want to play the social game?
Socials. I will not play the social game. ReShoot at movie PO1. I think that's Twitter.
Or X.
Or
I'm not calling it that.
Elon Musk can suck my ex. It's Twitter. At reshoot movie or at reshoot movie PO1.
That's
Twitter.
Twitter.
Reshoot podcast is Mastodon.
Yep.
Reshoot podcast at Gmail? Is it just that?
Yep.
Or no?
That's our email.
Our email.
You can find us on Instagram and on Threads as reshoot_podcast.
Yes. What else?
And then Blue Sky, we are. I'm just going to read off the
Sky.
first bit because everybody's the same last bit. Reshoot movie pod.
Dot.
We don't have to read it out.
Yeah, the rest.
Reshoot movie pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just love us.
Oh, and join our Discord. There is a entire channel just there, so you can make fun of Ed and all his Hater-ade chugging during the recording of this episode.
I just posted news I found, which is that Neil Breen movies, almost all of them, except for like 2, he put himself into the Internet Archive for free, legal viewing.
Who the hell is Neil Breen?
Who's Neil Breen?
He makes he does stuff with green screens, or he'll be the only character in like almost the entire movie. It's hard to explain. He does a lot of weird movies. Like, he's kind of like Tommy Wiseau. He's the same brand of genius.
Yeah, but like,
what?
Help me out here.
I haven't seen one, but like I saw a scene where it was like 3 of them. One of them was acting dead. It's a really bad green screen effect, and then it's just like we have to find out who's murdering everyone, and it's just it's hard to explain. Like, they're not.
That just seems like a random dude putting things on the internet that are kind of crazy.
No, they're actual movies. Funny. They're actual movies.
Then why didn't you say that?
No, they're actual movies. He just put them on the Internet Archive for free, so you can legally watch all of them. He's like, it's Tommy Wiseau kind of stuff, but not except like a lot of them, and they're all. It seems like it's hard to explain.
The images I'm looking at, I fucking hate everything that I can see.
Yeah.
So
It's an experience. It's just a wild movie. I've been told about
Did
them
I
for
kill
years, and
myself?
now I finally have a way to watch
Shit,
them
no.
for free, which is
Wait,
good because
I
I'm
think
poor,
I
right? Well, not
X'd
poor, but
out
like
and it
I have
messed
no
up the shit.
expendable money, not as much expendable money as I used to.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that's where you can find us. Join us next time for The Flash.
We'll be back in soon.
Little bit.
Soon. Wait, no.
I think I'm back.
Up.
Am I back?
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Did Ed leave?
Did Ed leave?
No, it's the yellow. We might have lost him. Oof. Oh, it's being saved locally. Okay, so he can save it on his end.
Okay. Ed, say goodbye.
Ed?
Ed?
Ed, can you hear us?
Ed, say something. We can type. You sort of did. It's fine. 3, 2.
Can you hear us? Can you type in the chat if you can hear us? You're right here. Right in the chat.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.